Hi.
So, I'm James. I'm 26. And I'm the disappointment of the family, or at least that's how my mom likes to frame it. My brother Mark? Oh, he's the pride and joy. Straight A's, football captain, now working some soul-sucking finance job in the city. He's the one who gets the family group texts filled with heart emojis. Me? I get a thumbs up. Sometimes. I didn't take the traditional route. I studied digital media and now I work freelance in video editing and content production. I'm not rolling in money, but I'm doing okay. And here's the part that'll piss some of you off. I've been paying most of my mom's bills for the last 4 years. Yeah. Rent, groceries, her phone bill, even paid for that spa weekend she posted about on Facebook. The one with the caption, "Treating myself because I deserve it." Yeah. That one. Not once did she say thanks. It wasn't like she was begging. I offered. She raised me, I figured it was the least I could do. But damn, it's like the more I gave, the less I mattered. The final straw happened last week. We were at a family dinner at Mark's new condo, one of those open-concept places that looks like an IKEA catalog threw up in it. Everyone was there, my mom, Mark, his fiancée Sarah, who acts like she's already our boss, my dad, who mostly stared at his plate, and me. Unbeknownst to me, Mark had decided it would be fun to livestream the whole thing on Instagram. No one told me. I only found out when I saw a ring light on the counter and his phone propped up, recording. When I asked, he laughed and said, "Come on, it's for content. People love our family dynamic." I should have left right then. But I didn't. I smiled, sat down, tried to play nice. 10 minutes in, my mom's already on her second glass of wine and starts talking about how kids these days waste their lives chasing imaginary careers. She turns to me, right into the damn camera, and says, "Isn't that right, James? Tell everyone what your degree is in again. Something with memes, right?" Everyone laughed. Mark nearly spit out his wine. Sarah said, "That's actually hilarious." And I just sat there. I didn't laugh. I couldn't. I stared at my mom. This woman I've been bailing out for years, who never once asked me if I was doing okay. Who never showed up to my graduation because she thought it was just a formality. This woman was mocking my life's work to strangers online for a couple of likes. And the worst part? She was smiling. Like I was a joke she never got tired of telling. I didn't say anything. I just got up, grabbed my coat, and walked out. Didn't say bye. Didn't look back. They didn't even try to stop me. So I left the dinner, walked 5 blocks before realizing I didn't even have my car. Just kept going, head buzzing. I wasn't sad. I wasn't even mad. I was numb. You ever get to that point? Like your body's moving but your mind is just checked out? I didn't sleep that night. Just stared at the ceiling thinking about every damn bill I paid. Every time I picked up the phone when my mom called crying about the water getting shut off or how her card got declined again. I remembered wiring her money while eating instant noodles myself. Literally skipped meals some months. And she called my degree useless. Live. Next morning, I woke up, brewed coffee, and before I could talk myself out of it, I did what I should have done a long time ago. I logged into my banking app, canceled all auto transfers to her account, and deleted her as a payee. Then I texted her. "Hey mom. After everything last night, I realized I've been pouring into someone who never poured back. I won't be covering your bills anymore. Hope you figure it out." Sent it. No, love you. No smiley face. Just facts. Didn't hear from her for 5 hours. Then came the call. She didn't ask why. Didn't apologize. She yelled. Said I was overreacting. Said it was just a joke. Said she was embarrassed that I left in the middle of dinner like a child. Told me I was selfish, and that Mark would never treat her this way. I said, "Yeah, Mark doesn't have to. You don't need anything from him." She went quiet for a second. Then hit me with, "So this was always about control, wasn't it?" That was it. I hung up. 5 minutes later, my phone started blowing up, texts from Mark, from Sarah, even from my dad. Apparently, she had a meltdown after the call. Mark said I humiliated her by cutting her off. Sarah called me emotionally immature. My dad, he just asked me to reconsider. I didn't respond to any of them. I didn't block them either. I wanted them to see what silence felt like for once. So a couple days go by. I'm doing my best to keep my head down, focus on work. But you know how it is, when family drama starts, it doesn't just fizzle out. It spreads. I get a text from my Aunt Denise, who I haven't talked to in months. Just says, "Your mom's been crying nonstop. Whatever this fight is, fix it. Family's all we have." Right. Family. The same family that laughed at me while I sat there trying not to break down. The same mom who told the entire internet my degree was a joke while living off the money I made with it. But they didn't see that part. Then came the Facebook post. Yeah. My mom put up this dramatic status with a photo of her looking out a window like she was in a Hallmark movie. Captioned it. Sometimes the ones you give everything to end up hurting you the most. Praying for strength today. Broken heart, folded hands. The comments were a parade of sympathy. Stay strong, mama. You raised two amazing boys. He'll come around. Even Mark commented. Love you, mom. Always here for you. No mention of me. No clarification. Just public manipulation. That one stung. Because now people I grew up with were messaging me like I was the villain. I got a DM from a cousin saying, whatever's going on, man, just talk to your mom. She's not perfect, but she's your mom. And here's the part that nearly broke me, I almost did. I almost texted her. That post, that comment section, the way she spun it, it worked for a minute. Until I remembered the live stream. I pulled it up again. Still on Mark's Instagram. There I was. Sitting at the table. Smiling like a fool. And there she was, glass in hand, voice sharp, laughing like she couldn't even help herself. Useless degree. He edits videos for TikTokers or something. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. That southern-sounding dig. That fake sympathy dipped in sarcasm. I watched it again. This time, I didn't feel numb. I felt fire. That was the moment I knew. I wasn't just cutting her off financially. I was cutting the act, alright, so after the Facebook post circus, I kept quiet. But inside? I was boiling. Felt like I'd been gaslit by my own blood. Like they wanted to flip the whole script and cast me as the ungrateful kid who turned his back on family. But karma moves fast sometimes. About a week later, I get a DM from someone I haven't talked to since high school. Jenna. She used to date Mark back in college for a bit, messy breakup, never really knew why. Her message just said, hey, saw the livestream clip. I know what it feels like to be on the other end of their golden boy nonsense. If you ever want to talk, I'm around. That caught me off guard. I asked her what she meant, and she told me, get this, Mark used to mock me behind my back all the time, even way before this livestream stuff. He'd tell people I was off chasing clout and still living in fantasy land, while he was out making real money. She said he even used to brag that mom was on his side no matter what, and how James could fail completely and she'd still coddle him. That one hit hard. Because I remembered mom saying something like that when I dropped out of grad school. I was having a panic attack about whether I made the right decision, and she said, well, at least Mark's still holding things down. Just casually, like it was a fact. Jenna also told me she broke up with him because of how condescending he was. Always acted like he was better than everyone else, especially me. So I started connecting dots. That live stream? Yeah, Mark knew what he was doing. He wanted to put me on blast. Probably thought it'd be funny to get me to snap. Get some content. Maybe even go viral. And mom? She played right into it. After that, I made a choice. I wasn't gonna just sit back anymore. I posted a video on my own account. Not dramatic. Just honest. I looked right into the camera and said, some of you saw a clip from a live stream where I was laughed at by my own family. What you didn't see was the years I spent covering my mom's bills. What you didn't hear was the silence every time I achieved something. This isn't revenge. It's a boundary. I'm done being quiet about being disrespected by the people I've supported the most. I didn't name names. I didn't curse anyone out. Just laid it bare. Didn't expect much from it. Maybe a few friends to message. But the post blew up. And with that, so did the cracks in their perfect little image. So yeah, my video went way further than I thought it would. A few hundred views turned into a few thousand, then tens of thousands. Comments poured in, mostly from strangers, saying stuff like, this hit me hard, man. Same thing happened with my mom. Families like this drain you and then blame you for bleeding. You did the right thing. Respect to you for setting boundaries. I read every single one. Couldn't believe it. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't weak. I was just tired. And apparently, so were a lot of people out there. But the real kicker? Some of the people close to us started seeing the video. Cousins. Old neighbors. Even some of mom's church friends. And they started asking questions. Then came the calls. My phone rang, it was Aunt Denise again. Except this time? She didn't sound so, keep the family together, anymore. James, what your mom did on that live stream was cruel. I didn't know. She made it seem like you just snapped out of nowhere. Yeah. No kidding. Then Sarah, Mark's fiancée, texted me. Did you really pay your mom's bills all these years? No apology. No acknowledgement of her own comments. Just that. I didn't reply. An hour later, Mark messaged me for the first time since the dinner. "Bro, take the video down. You're making this worse for Mom." I just stared at it. I didn't take it down. I shared it to my story. Because here's the thing, they were only upset now that people were seeing the truth. When it was just me, when I was the only one hurting, they didn't care. They laughed. They piled on. But now that they were getting some heat? Now it was making things worse. What did they expect? You go live to clown your brother, mock his work, humiliate him in front of an audience, and when the internet claps back, suddenly I'm the problem? Nah. They started losing followers. Mom deleted her Facebook post. Mark made his Instagram private. And from what I heard, even his boss saw the clip. Good. Because sometimes people like them only understand shame when it comes from the outside. So after the video blew up and the internet started doing what the internet does, dragging people, I figured I'd just lay low. Let them deal with their own mess for once. But a few days later, my phone lit up. Dad. Now look, my dad's always been quiet. The type to sit at the dinner table with a newspaper even in 2025. Barely says much. Growing up, he wasn't mean, just absent. Like physically there but never really there. If Mom was the storm, Dad was the silence that followed. And in that silence, I learned how to bottle everything up. So when I saw his name, I hesitated. Almost didn't pick up. But something told me to. "Hey," I answered. Long pause. Then, "Can we talk?" He asked me to meet him at this little diner we used to go to when I was a kid. It's a hole-in-the-wall place that serves greasy pancakes and bad coffee, but he always liked it. I showed up the next morning. He was already there, same booth as always, sipping black coffee like it was the only thing keeping him alive. When I sat down, he didn't even look at me at first. Just stared at his mug and said, "Saw your video." I braced for it. The lecture. The guilt trip. But then he said, "I should have spoken up sooner. I saw how your mom talked to you. I let it happen. That's on me." I just sat there. Didn't even know how to respond. He finally looked at me and said, "Your brothers always needed the praise. You didn't. That's why your mom gave it all to him. She thought you were stronger. Thought you could take it." I laughed, bitter. "So I got punished for being strong?" He nodded, like that truth hurt him too. He said he was proud of me. For the work I do. For standing up for myself. For walking out when no one else had the spine to do it. And then he said, "I'm not asking you to forgive her. I'm just asking you not to forget who you are." That part hit different. I'd been so angry, so tired of feeling like the ghost of the family, that I forgot I had value outside their opinions. He paid the check, left a decent tip, and just said, "Call me if you ever want to talk again." No pressure. No sides taken. Just a father finally trying to be a damn father. So a few days after meeting Dad, I get a voicemail from Mom. First one in years. She always preferred texts or dramatic public posts, so yeah, I was surprised. She sounded wrecked. Her voice was shaky, like she'd been crying for hours. "James, honey. I saw the video. I didn't know you felt that way. I never meant to hurt you. I was just trying to be funny. Everyone was laughing and I guess I got carried away. Please call me. Please." I didn't delete it either. Just let it sit there. Played it twice. I wanted to believe her. I really did. But something about it felt off. It wasn't guilt I heard. It was damage control. And I was right. Because guess what? The very next day, she posted a new video, this time on her own account. It started with her sitting on the couch, eyes red, tissues in hand. Said she was taking a break from social media due to online harassment, but she had to clear the air about the misunderstood dinner clip. People are attacking me without context. I love both my sons equally. The live stream was meant to be lighthearted. It wasn't serious. And James knows that. He knows I've always supported him. I damn near threw my phone. Always supported me? This woman didn't even show up to my graduation. Didn't repost a single thing I ever worked on. Half the time, she didn't even remember what I did for a living. And now she's playing victim to her followers like she's being bullied? Nah. I posted again. Just text on screen, black background. Love isn't making your kid the punchline for likes. Love isn't pretending to support someone while mocking them behind their back. I'm not attacking anyone. I'm just done pretending. That post tripled the views of the first one. And that's when I knew she was spiraling. Because suddenly, people started digging. An old family friend commented that I paid off Mom's medical bills 2 years ago when she was in debt and never once got a thank you. Someone else said they remembered how she bragged about Mark's job but forgot what I did completely. The mask was slipping. And for the first time in my life, it wasn't me being questioned. It was her. So after that second post went viral, it was like the floodgates opened. People were messaging me nonstop, some randoms, some folks I hadn't heard from in years. But then came his name on my screen. Mark. He didn't text this time. He called. I let it ring. Then he called again. Then again. Finally, I picked up. James, he said, and for once, there was no smugness in his voice. No fake older brother authority. Just, tired. You got a minute? I almost hung up. But part of me wanted to hear whatever excuse was about to come flying out of his mouth. So we met. Neutral ground, some empty bench by the lake near where we grew up. Middle of the day, no crowd, no stage for him to perform on. He showed up in a hoodie and jeans. No Rolex. No Sarah. Just Mark. He sat down and looked at me for a long time before saying, I messed up. I didn't say anything. I shouldn't have streamed that dinner. I thought it'd be funny. Didn't think it'd blow up. Still, I didn't speak. I wanted him to fill the silence with the truth, not some sanitized apology. He kept going. Look, I know Mom favors me. I used to think it wasn't a big deal because, well, I figured you didn't care. You figured wrong, I said, flat. He looked away. I think I was jealous, he admitted. You were doing what you loved. I was stuck in a job I hated but couldn't leave because everyone expected me to be the successful one. You had freedom. I had expectations. I almost laughed. He was jealous of me? The guy with the six-figure salary and a fiancée who looked like she walked out of a wedding magazine? But yeah, I saw it. The exhaustion in his face. The cracks in the perfect image he'd been holding up for years. Then he said something I didn't expect. Mom's been calling everyone, trying to control the damage. But she still doesn't get it. She thinks if you just talk to her, it'll all blow over. I shook my head. There's nothing left to blow over. She made her choice. He nodded slowly. So did I. That caught me. I told her to stop. Told her I wasn't playing along anymore. I'm done being the good son if it means standing on your neck. It was the first time I saw my brother, not the polished version, not Mom's favorite, but the guy I used to ride bikes with as kids. But it didn't change everything. It didn't undo the years of him laughing while I got mocked. It didn't erase the live stream. So I told him that. I appreciate the honesty, I said. But you still stood by while she buried me. You laughed. He didn't argue. Just nodded again. I did. And I'm sorry. That was it. No justifications. No deflection. I stood up to leave. You and I? We're not enemies, I said. But we're not brothers right now either. And I walked away. So a couple days after the meetup with Mark, I get a message. Sarah. Now if you remember, Sarah was right there at that dinner, laughing along with the rest of them. She called my degree hilarious. She didn't even flinch when my mom roasted me in front of an audience. I figured she was just another side character in the Mark show, smiling, nodding, fitting into their curated little world. Her message was weird. Hey. I don't expect you to respond, but I wanted to say I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that dinner. Or what came after. I read it twice. Still didn't reply. But she didn't stop. Next day, another message. There's some stuff you don't know. About your mom. About Mark. If you want the truth, I'll tell you. Okay. Now she had my attention. We met at some cafe uptown. Public place. Middle of the day. I wasn't about to get cornered by another pity act. Sarah looked different. Less polished. Makeup minimal. Hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. She looked like someone who hadn't slept in a while. She didn't waste time. I told Mark not to stream that dinner. Told him it was cruel. He said it'd be harmless and get a laugh. No surprise there. But then she leaned in a bit, dropped her voice. What you probably don't know is, that whole dinner. It was kind of staged. I blinked. Staged how? She bit her lip. Your mom told him to bring up your degree. Said it'd be funny. Said you needed to lighten up. I felt like the wind got knocked out of me. So not only was it a setup, but they rehearsed it. She said, maybe if we poke fun at him, he'll finally stop acting like such a martyr. Her words. Not mine. I couldn't even respond. Sarah kept going. Mark, he plays along with her. Always has. But lately, he's been cracking. He started talking to me about quitting his job, about how he doesn't even know who he is outside of being the golden child. I didn't care. I really didn't. Then she dropped the last bit. Also, your mom? She told Mark not to tell you when your freelance project got featured on that industry site last year. She said, don't give him a big head. He already thinks he's special. That one hit harder than I expected. Because that project? It meant everything to me. It was the first time I felt like my work mattered. I'd posted about it, shared it online. Got a couple congrats from randoms. Nothing from family. I figured they just didn't care. But no. They hid it. That wasn't ignorance. That was intentional. I stood up to leave. Sarah tried to stop me. I know I was part of it. I didn't say anything. I'm sorry. I paused. Yeah. You didn't say anything. None of you did. And I walked out. It's been about 3 weeks since the dinner from hell. Feels like a year. No more texts from Mom. She's gone quiet ever since the backlash started turning on her instead of me. Probably still playing the victim in private, but the public sympathy well dried up once people saw through her act. Mark? He's been silent since that park bench conversation. And honestly, I'm good with that. Let him figure his own mess out. I'm done being his emotional punching bag or background character in his Golden Boy saga. Sarah hasn't messaged me again either. I think she knew I wouldn't respond. Whatever guilt she's carrying, that's hers to sit with now. But here's the thing. For the first time in a long time, I'm not angry anymore. I'm free. I've been waking up without that knot in my chest. You know the one, that ache that comes from constantly being second-guessed, dismissed, overlooked. That thing you carry when your own family treats you like an afterthought. It's gone. And with that space? I've started filling it with me. I signed on to a big project last week. One that actually excites me. A documentary series. Real budget. Real recognition. I'll be credited as lead editor. My name, on something people will watch and respect. I also reached out to a couple of old friends I lost touch with because I was always too drained dealing with family. We grabbed coffee. Caught up. One of them told me, "Man, you seem lighter." That hit. And here's the wild part, people are still sharing my video. Not because it's scandalous anymore, but because it's real. I've had strangers message me, thanking me for putting words to something they couldn't say. For choosing myself. That's what this was always about. Not revenge. Not pity. Not even justice. It was about respect. Respect for myself. For my work. For the sacrifices no one saw. For the years I kept showing up for people who never showed up for me. I've got no plans to reconcile. Not now. Maybe not ever. I'm not saying I'll carry this grudge forever, but I'm done carrying them. So if you're reading this, sitting in the same silence I used to sit in, wondering if you're crazy for feeling hurt by the people who were supposed to love you most? You're not. You deserve peace. You deserve respect. And most of all? You deserve to choose you. That's what I did. And finally, I'm breathing again.
Bye.